hello, and welcome to the very first episode of Accelerate with Matt Stone. And I am the aforementioned Matt Stone, and I want to thank you for listening to this podcast. Now, the podcast, if you subscribed on Apple or Podbean or wherever, then you're going to go, why is it Accelerate with Matt Stone now? Yes, it was previously Connections That Matter. And for the last couple of years, we had long-form interviews with folks talking about how their relationships impacted their lives and careers. And now we are relaunching with a brand new focus, and I'm really excited about it. So this podcast is for CEOs, for founders, and for visionaries who are pondering or in the process of taking a big leap. And we're going to be sharing, inspiration, stories, all kinds of things along the way to help inspire and inform and encourage you on your big leap. And let me be clear, a big leap doesn't have to be a big thing. It just needs to be important to you. So it can be anything from changing your career, moving from, one industry to another. That can be a very, very big leap. Or it could be transforming your team or transforming your company. There's so many different forms of big leaps. And I know a lot about taking big leaps. I've done many of them across many different purposes. And so it's really a passion of mine. I run a company focused on communication and feedback and leadership. And this is my own venture. This is really my way to connect individually with people out there who are going through, a big change process, and they want to go somewhere better. And they want some support along the way. So I hope you'll stay connected and really help me form a community around this. So let me just share my most recent big leap. I just recently relocated in the last few months from Tokyo after almost a decade in Tokyo, moving to the New York City area. And my wife, who's Japanese, she joined me as well. So, it's kind of her big leap too. And there's just been so many things that have, whenever you're thinking about taking a big leap, whether it's moving or changing something or taking a new job or whatever, how many times does where you land match exactly what your vision was before? It just doesn't happen. Not in my experience anyway. And it's not, I don't think it's even supposed to be that way. But one of the things that really occurred to me in this most recent leap, which involved governments and just so many logistics over a multitude of years to make this happen, is that, because you don't want to land, whatever your vision is, what if your vision is actually better than what you're imagining now? What if your company could be even better than what you think it can be? So what it occurred to me is the process of staying open to going someplace better requires a commitment to strategies that create opportunity for growth, for high growth. And there were kind of 5 things that really came to the surface for me in this process. I call them the 5 rules of reinvention, because a big leap does not happen, not successfully anyway, without a ton of reinvention. Reinventing small things, reinventing big things. But you got to reinvent, constantly reinvent. So the 5 rules of reinvention that really kind of came to the surface for me in this whole process had to do with, first, nurturing your own, prioritizing your own self-awareness, knowing yourself and knowing how others see you. It starts with knowing your values, knowing what's important to you, and so on. And then managing your own self-talk, your own PR system, the propaganda sometimes it's running in your own head, right? Making it work for you, not against you. Helping it, encourage you and keep you open to things, keep your viewfinders, wide open instead of closed and narrow, so you don't miss important opportunities, connections, etc. The third is really nurturing support. Nurturing a human ecosystem that promotes your own growth, but also your encouragement. that picks you up when you fall down, gives you information that you need along the way, helps you make connections, etc. Then there's intentional feedback, both giving and receiving. And that has its own category as standalone, because feedback is the breakfast, lunch, dinner, and midnight snack of champions. So we really can't miss feedback in this process, and it's the fourth rule. And the fifth rule, which although is number 5, is not necessarily any less important. In fact, it could be even more important, and that is happiness, joy. It's really building in, something connected with your heart needs to be a part of your mission, of your purpose. You've got to stay connected with your heart along the way. If you've got those 5 rules attended to, well, then you will accelerate your big leap and you'll land in a place that's even better than you could have imagined in the beginning. So how does that sound? Does that sound like something that works for you, something that could encourage you? I hope it does. And if it does, I'd love for you to stick around, subscribe. Also, you can connect with me and communicate with me on Twitter at MattStoneCo, at MattStone Co. Find me on LinkedIn in the New York City area, affiliated with a company called Behavioral OS, and soon you're going to see a reference to this podcast on LinkedIn as well. So that's another great place to find me and connect with me. And most of all, I'm really looking forward to dreaming big, leaping fast, and winning together. So keep listening, stay connected, share your feedback and stories with me, and we are going to see some exciting results together. Until next time, bye-bye.